Hey everybody, this is Patti. Welcome to the Witching Hour. We have a wonderful show for you today. All the way from Alaska, she is here. I have Sue Aikens. You may know her as the star of National Geographic's Life Below Zero. She has a brand new book coming out just this week called North of Ordinary, a memoir, North of Ordinary, how one woman left it all behind for wilderness and wonder in Alaska's frozen frontier. Say that 5 times fast. This woman has been attacked by bears, lives alone, and I am thrilled to get to know her. Welcome, Sue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I love your show. I love the premise. And yep, the book North of Ordinary. You know, people say, how did you pick that name? Great name. People ask me over the years, where do you live? And I said, a little bit north of Ordinary.
That's amazing. Yeah. So how did this, Sue Aikens, happen? How did this world happen, this adventure woman?
I was born in Chicago, and my mom, at a very young age, my mom was going through what I can only describe as a nervous breakdown, something very emotional for her. And she gave me one night, gave me a paper bag and said, pack one bag, you're moving to Alaska. And the next day off we went. Later that summer, we were camping out in the woods, and she said, you know, what do you want from town? And I had not even had a birthday present to that point yet. And, you know, I was 11 going on 12. And I said, to go with. And she said, oh, don't be silly. I want to do something nice for you. And she never came back. So she abandoned me there. My life leading up to that point, this is not the first time she had done it. First time she did it without ever coming back. And so I had to learn how to be self-sufficient. I even have, I know you noticed it earlier, I have a tattoo here on my arm.
Yes, tell us about that.
Yeah, this is, it's a tattoo. Every tattoo should tell a story. You see a big raven here. When my mom abandoned me, I had some anger issues about it. I'm waiting for her to come back. This is a place where the sun never sets. The mosquitoes are as big as birds. And I was angry. I wasn't crying about it yet. And this bird landed. Now, as a child, the ravens in Alaska are huge. They're 2.5 feet tall. Very Poe-esque, very black-beaked, long, blue. And they look at you with one eye. And, you know, it's looking at me. And I'm like, go ahead, do it. Peck my eyes out. Just do it. Everybody poops on me, you know, just do it. I'll be a little Susie blind girl, you know, and it comes a little closer, and I said, do it! And he fluffs out his wings like this, and I was like, oh shit. And he comes closer, he puts out his wings, puts them around my chest, and puts his head on my chest and hugged me. And I think in pictures and videos, and it takes me right back. I had just seen a cartoon, and in the cartoon it's this dog, and he says, my name is George. I will call him George. So that's what I called him, George. But it was the first comfort I had gotten. It brought me to the point where I could cry, and I went, wow, yeah, this really is it. It was a life filled with violence, not a very great upbringing, but all of a sudden it dawned on me, I went, you know, I'm alone. And I went, oh my God, I'm alone. I can learn, there's no guesswork. Nobody's gonna come be mean to me. Nobody's gonna beat me up. Nobody's gonna abuse me. I'm alone. And alone went from being fearful to exciting. And George showed me, sort of like my spirit animal. He's my familiar, if you will. Yeah. And the raven is. They're wise, and he would come pull at my pants, and want me to follow him. And what he did is he brought me berries. He brought me this, but he wanted me to follow him. So I was like, great. I packed up what I could, and he brought me to this little broken down cabin, which I now own, and I call it on the show, you see it, and it's called the No Tech Cabin, and it saved my life, and so I saved its. But George stayed with me 17 years, and I would go away, I would come back, and here he is. When he passed away, within a few days, another George comes in. And even now I have a George that found a Georgette, and they had a Georgie. And when I left Kavik, which is the camp I have on the North Slope, I'm 500 miles from the closest town, 100 miles from any road. I have my own runway. And that's the level of isolation that I find peaceful. But when I left there to go to my cabin property, those 3 ravens, within 2 days of being at the cabin, here's 2 adults and a juvenile. So it's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. I have my sets of ravens just here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. We have 2. I go up to Lake Hollywood every day. We're going to show you the best view of Hollywood ever. One, they're probably not as big as the ravens there, but one, his foot hangs, so his name is Hangfoot, and their partner, very original, Hangfoot. We feed them every single day, and they come every single day. They know our cars when we pull up. And now I have 2 right here. We're staring at my patio door, 2 different ones, because one of them is not Hangfoot, that we feed every day. And they're
cool.
smart as birds.
They're incredible. I have videos where, like, when I was getting ready to leave, George flew up. He was unhappy. He was standing on my water system, and he just started just crabbing at me. And I'm talking, and the different clicks and things that they use, I'm talking back to him. And you're really upset about this, George, aren't you? And he fluffs himself and ruffles all his feathers. And he, for 30 minutes, read me the Riot Act, and we had this discourse. And I said, I've got to go. I can't be here right now. And he looked, gave one big caw, and then flew off. And so I was like, well, I just got told off.
That's amazing. Oh my God. I love it, because I'm very elemental witch. I'm very all about earth and following, which we've gotten so far away from. So what is it? You are, hundreds of miles from anybody. And
yes, I'm the only person in 500 by 800 miles.
And that's not scary.
I don't feel, I can't say that there aren't things you need to be highly situationally aware of. Real fear, that comes for me more with a human component than the animal component. You can see I've got lots of scars. I've been attacked by a grizzly. Had to sew up my arms, sew up my head. You can feel where the teeth went in. Later on, I had a snow machine accident, and I asked the doctor, I said, can you clean up? When you're sewing yourself, it's hard. But when because if I'm 500 miles from a grocery store, I'm 500 miles from a doctor. So I've had to learn, and over my whole life, it's been, what plant is medicinal? What is the food value? Food used to be medicine. Yeah. And then we just made it affordable. And so it's about getting back to the roots. What can I use as stitches? I hunt for the meat that I eat. You use a sinew, now you got stitching material. There's so much, we've gone so far away from being earthlings, and now we need to come back to being earthbound.
I agree wholeheartedly. So what would a tip, that just sounds fabulous and scary to me. I'll come visit you for a day and a half and go,
when I got attacked by the grizzly, it was a unique situation. And it is dealt with in the book. I think in the pictures, this was a juvenile male. In the bear society, you have your juvenile males, your betas, and females that are betas. They're the lower class citizens. Your alphas are the ones with all the power. The chicks are not going to mate with a male unless he's an alpha. That's progenerating the best of the species. No getting the bottom suckers. So for him to become an alpha, he's got to subjugate an alpha, kill one, or take over their territory. Now, here I am, I'm a female alone. I've been fixed for 40 years, and so I don't really smell feminine or masculine. I'm just kind of like Sue. And I defend my territory. I've got these beautiful dens to a bear. It looks like I've got dens that I never have to dig. I don't have to go find my food. I bring it to myself. So as in their language, I'm an alpha. So this juvenile decided he was going to test me, and he was burying a caribou on my helicopter pad every day. And I had to call the state. How do you want me to deal with this? And they said, burn it or send it down the river, but get it away from your land. If you have to deal with it, you have to. This male ended up surprising me. I went down to get, the river was frozen. I wanted to get water. I have to get my water from the river. So I don't have, once it freezes over, I don't have running water at all from, let's say, September until the following June. Then I'm into melting snow. But I went down, I looked for this bear, couldn't see him, set down the pump, started digging the hole to get through the ice, and here the bear was in the cut bank, grabbed me, drug me into the tundra. I call it, it's a beta attack. He extends his claws and he's going to roll you. And it's just like if I do this to you and you do it back, come on, you gonna do it or not? So you don't want to, it's an alpha push, you don't wanna put the extra pressure on him. He ended up, he put his jaws on the throat, he put it on my head, you can still feel where the teeth went in, tore up the arm. He finally quit. In his eyes, all the girls that, they're in the patch there, they're watching this exchange. He roars, he goes back in and he's gonna go show off. Look, I just knocked her down. I did not remember I had a gun down at the river. The hips were torn out of the sockets. I got myself back to my camp, put the hips back into the sockets, put 2 sets of gun belts on it, cleaned the wounds, sewed it up, tried to call the troopers. This is before we had internet, really good internet. You had to use a different system. Got on the radio, nobody replied. Got a gun, had to find the bear. That was my eviction notice. And I knew I wouldn't be walking much longer. So I grabbed another gun. I knew about where he would be. I found him, shot him, GPS'd it, don't know why I did that. But then the hips gave out, drug myself back to camp, and I wasn't moving, and it took 10 days for somebody to find me.
Oh my.
That's kind of a synopsis of it. I was discovered 10 days later. They flew me out, brought me all the way down to Fairbanks. They looked at it and said, we can't do anything. You got to go to the lower world for surgery. So I picked a place where my son, my husband was, and had the surgeries. When it came time to going back up, people said, are you sure you can do this? That's not how I think. I don't know that I can't. But Kavik, I've always wanted to be a lighthouse keeper, be a beacon, and I can't do that if I'm afraid of it. So I got to get back up there and see. It's not if. I have 83 Grizzlies that they tag that are within 10 miles of camp. It's not if they're going to attack, it's when. So, but the first time it happened, I dropped right into what I needed and dealt with it. And that's the bear story.
That's amazing. And you went back.
And I'm still there. I've
still
been there 27 years now. So
did you raise your kids there?
For a part of my kids are in their 40s.
Okay.
And I have grandkids. Some of my grandkids have been up there. I have 1.5 great grandkids.
Wow.
Yeah, my granddaughter is actually in labor right now. Wow. So I have a great grandson coming out soon.
Yay. Wow.
But you can't live this remote. How do you do your own medicine? You have to be grounded in the earth. You have to be grounded in the magic that is life. If it's not a part of you, you're not a part of it, and you're not gonna make it there. To say that we're, as humans, I can build more, I can make it secure, and I can bow nature to my will. All my scars say no, not really. You can live harmoniously or disharmoniously with it, but you better believe in the magic and you better be able to work with it.
So it's really working with nature. So
yes.
Nature, it feels almost sentient. It is its own being.
Nature is a living, breathing entity, especially in Alaska. It's like putting the wild back in the wilderness. And there's a certain amount of respect you have to give it, but there's also a certain amount of dominance that you have to show. Do you have round heels? Are you a pushover, or it's a give and take? Life is a sine wave. You got to ride it.
So I'm very elemental in my work. Again, not quite like you. I'm in the elements. I work with the elements, not in the. So do you? I know you work with crystals and things like that. So is that working with nature to guide you? Do you work with guides and the spirit?
Yeah,
of the
I've
planet?
got I've got my animals that help. Foxes. Foxes are drawn to me. I have 12 to 15. People see on the show and they think I only have one, maybe two foxes. There's 12 to 15. And I've seen 27 generations of the foxes now, and I've never killed any of them. I do hunt for the meat that I eat. I need furs to do other things. But the foxes are special to me. They, I tell people they're not just fur coats, they're family. And so every year, and now year after year after year, all the foxes keep coming in, and I get 20s and 30s of all these babies in every year. The northern lights, I get a lot of the northern lights, the Aurora Borealis. It's a to me, very spiritual thing. We believe that the spirits of our ancestors can ride that energy and come visit. I had a granddaughter that passed away and a sister that passed away, and I couldn't be where they were at, but I did an episode where you see me make the crosses, put them in the river. I'm not allowed to mar anything. It's a protected ecosystem. So I put it in the frozen water and let the ground take it when it thawed out. But that night, we get pillars of light. Light stretches from the ground all the way up. And that happened right there. One raven, when I turned, the film crew was there and they started crying, and I said, oh my God, what's behind me? And they said, finish what you're doing, it's not bad. And they said, now turn around. And here on top of each marker was a raven. And I said, help their spirits, help them go. My granddaughter that passed away, she always wanted to travel. So I collected all my foreign coins, put it in the top, and I said, now you can go wherever you want. It's pennies, like for the ferryman. But I said, now you can tell them, no, I want to see Italy first. Nope, we're going to Spain. And funny thing is, when the Northern Lights came down, told the ravens, I said, take their spirits. Come back when you can, guys. And 3-4 years later, a woman and her young boy were hunting. And here's a little boy, and he says, look at this, I found pirate treasure. And it's a foreign coin. And I said, and they were miles downstream, and I said, told them the story about my granddaughter and her foreign coins, and they said, oh my gosh, here, take it back. And I said, no, because now that's for you. You're going to take her traveling, and when you do, drop her down. And so she's traveling. And I don't think you can have a grounded life being one with nature and ignore the energy. It's all energy. Positive or negative, there's a flow. And you're swimming in it or overwhelmed by it.
I agree. That sounds somewhat overwhelming, and I would be swimming as much as so what it gets me is like the silence. I don't know silence. I live in the city. Is that's comforting?
There
to you,
is where I live. Like I say, I'm 100 miles from any road, 500 miles from what you would call a town or a city. If I don't create light, I don't have electricity unless I create it. So I have generators, I have alternative energy. There is no sound unless I make it. I run a runway, but in the winter, there's nothing. The silence is deafening. Yeah. And so if I hear anything, I immediately tune into, is it a danger? Is it this? And I'm categorizing it. People say, oh, you're paranoid. I'm like, no, but I'm highly situationally aware. I come like where I am right now. I'm in California. And people say, how do you like it here? Is it different seeing people? Is it different with the noise? There's so much bombarding me that it's hard to separate it. Yeah. And it can be overwhelming. People, when they meet me, I'm gregarious. I love talking to them. And they said, oh my gosh, we thought you hated people. I said, no, I've never said I hated anybody. I don't want to live with you guys. But as long as I know when I'm coming in that there's an end date, I enjoy the hell out of it. I'm one of those personalities. You can drop me in any country. Within 24 hours, I'm conversational. Some people are math savants. Languages are my thing. I don't have to remember it because 24 hours later, I've got it. So I love seeing the world. If and when I decide to grow up, how do I know where I want to live if I don't see it all?
That's good.
And there better be reincarnation because there's so much left to do.
There is so much. I am with you, and I haven't figured out what I want to do.
I am at the age where I've officially been on the planet longer than I have left. And that's a unique place to be. So I'm voting for reincarnation.
Yeah, I'm voting for. I'm pretty experienced. I've talked to lots of dead people and reincarnated people. I think we're good with that.
Oh, cool.
And I think again, the life we live here leads us into that next life, into that next life, into that next life.
I'm so comfortable in my skin. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a thrill ride. It's gonna be. I'm not going in a place of disadvantage. I've turned disadvantage into advantage. And so what am I going to learn the next go around? I don't know, but I'm excited.
So what do you think your biggest lesson is of this lifetime, if you've gotten it yet?
You cannot change the past. You cannot. Did I have kind of a terrible upbringing? Did I have a hard time? I don't know anybody who really hasn't had some hard times. But on myself, yes, I did. When my mother abandoned me, people are like, did you ever see her or talk to her again? I said, yes. Of course I did. I never walked a mile in her shoes, let alone 10 feet. The damage that I got, I can't even imagine what she endured to create that persona. Mm. If you cannot change something that has already happened, examine it. My daughter, her first marriage failed. She wanted to start dating again, met this gentleman, and she's like, Mom, I so want to see this guy, but I carry so much baggage. I bring so much baggage. I said, set that Gucci shit down. You can open it, you can look at it. If you had a marriage that failed, guaranteed you both have real estate. Honestly, bare bones honesty, what was your part in it? Deal with that, acknowledge it. Pack up that suitcase, shove it under the bed. You're not even paying electricity or bills at that address anymore. Walk away from it. So the lesson I've learned this time is you can't control the past. Why are you worried about the future? One foot's here, one foot's there. Your crotch is sitting over today and you're sitting on it. Stop that. If you want a better life, acknowledge you've already got it. You just need to step into it.
I love that. So what do you think, again, in our modern society, which is so different than what you live or what that man early lived, we've gotten so far from it. What do you think we've lost along the way?
I think we handed a lot of our power over to somebody else, whether that's an entity, whether that's I'm an American and this is what I handed over to them so they take care of me. Mm-hmm. Instead, you want the white picket fence and the beautiful yard and the rose garden, you're going to work and you're going to allow, you let somebody else say, okay, now you can buy it. Mm-hmm. No, you create it. We're handing our power over to AI. AI can be a tool or it can be a takeover. Where is the intimacy of physical touch? Where is the conversation? You and I are having a conversation, but how often is it over an electronic media? Yeah. How often is it that you see on some of these social media platforms, hey, here's a picture of something. Can you tell me what it is? It's like, GTS, Google that shit. Find out for yourself. We've handed over the ability and the desire to discover. Yeah. And it's not discover, it's discover. You should wake up like a little 5-year-old kid with a $100 bill getting ready to buy the snacks for a road trip. Yeah. Instead, you get to the car and you're like, well, nobody delivered it.
Right.
Where's the discover?
Yeah.
You cannot live life on the sidelines. It's a full body contact sport.
It is. I love this. You are like the philosopher of the wilderness.
That's this lifetime. Yeah.
Of the wilderness.
Yeah. And I had said before that when my mom abandoned me in Alaska, that was kind of a final one. There were other times. She brought me, I have a different parentage than the rest of my family. There were a few of them, but there were 4 of us kids at the later stage. 3 of them have the same father. That father is on my birth certificate, but it's not my dad. I don't know who he was. But my mom, the other kids would go on their vacation, and she put me in the car, drove me to Fort Taunton, North Dakota, and bopped me off at her friend Winona's and was gone before I woke up in the morning. I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning was there. it was an accepted part of my life that weird stuff's going to happen. You better roll with the punches. But there were two gentlemen, one in particular, his his American name was Pat White. And he was the senior. There were three of them, the great-grandfather, the grandfather, the dad. And Pat White and the medicine man, Wasu Dutta, they kind of took me under their wing, and they worked with me. Pat took me out into the wilds. He would make this sound, and all the wild horses would come running to him from far away. There's no way they could hear it, but they did. It was a spiritual thing. And he would talk to me, he'd say, Susie, you're not going to have an easy life. You're going to need to be self-reliant. And he finally taught me to make this sound, and he says, you only use it when you need it. It is not to be wasted. Animals, your spirit guides, they're going to be there for you. And they have been. When I left, I took those lessons with me. It was a magical time in my life where I felt valued. Somebody was teaching me something. It's not the only person. In Alaska, I had a bus driver. He knew he could figure out, yes, you have to read the book to get the whole story.
I will.
But Carl, the bus driver, brought this gun on the bus. He knew that I was living alone. He knew that I was in a tent. And he gave me the gun. He says, you're going to have to figure out how to hunt if you're going to make it. And he taught me out, showed me how to hunt, showed me how to shoot. And I said, can't I just live with you and your wife? And he said, no. Your life is going to be different. You're going to have to figure it out. And he was a wonderful man. I went back to show him one day. I made it. I did it. You were right. But I had to do it from his graveside. I've been very fortunate that life has shown me, and I think it must with other people, it shows you the people that you need to be who you truly are. We all have such potential. But how often do we go, and then there's the internet, and then there's this. But I was fortunate enough to meet these people. They showed it to me. Pat White, Wasu Dutta. Wasu was an incredible medicine man. Showed me the power of the beat, the power of the drums, the power of the dance. And, again, can I just stay with you? Nope. You're gonna have a difficult life, but it's gonna be rewarding. You need to make it happen.
So do you think that they saw that they had the gift to see who you were and who you were becoming and what you were going to bring to the world?
I can only believe that they saw who I have been, and that I was a power that had to mingle with theirs and then bounce off. There is magic, there is light, there is energy, there is darkness. And it's a coexistence. You have to navigate both paths. Darkness isn't always bad, and you can't have the light without it. I do believe that these people, sometimes when I walk into a room, and my kids used to say it, other people say it, they're like, you suck all the oxygen out, and you're so exciting, and then you glow. In my life, I help people, but I explain it as, how do I know who to help? How do I know who to bless? There's nothing better than helping somebody to make me feel great. And I never ask for anything back. It's not a gift if there's a price tag. But how do I know who to do it? They look different, they sparkle. And that's what my kids even say. Sometimes when I was a kid, you come in and you freaking glow, Mom. Back up. The light bringers are out there. Yeah. The magic is out there. It's not going away simply because you've tuned yourself out of seeing it. It's there.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm of the exact same philosophy. And I think I am one of those. You are one of different worlds, completely different messages, but bringing the light of that empowerment, that take your power back, the connection. Oh, I love it.
This is so fun. And people, oh my gosh, you're such a hippie. I'm like, yeah, sometimes. I can be a force to be reckoned with, and you can be the tide, but I can also be the puddle. We're multifaceted beings.
So what did somebody, okay, so of all the people like watching this or listening to this all over the world, and they live every which way in the world, what would your advice be to somebody going, okay, I want that connection. I want to be more awake or alive or whatever that is. I'm not going to move into a tent. I'm not going to go move in with bears.
No, yeah, there's not many people that want to live my lifestyle.
But what do you suggest they do? Is it an awareness thing? Is it a ritualistic thing? It's just a
There's
perception?
one person. You're from when you're born to when you die. There's only one person you're guaranteed to be with, and that's yourself. To become more aware, somebody asked me on the show, one of the first things, so Sue, what's the most important thing you bring to the Arctic when you want to be remote? And I said, well, your mind and brutal honesty. Brutal. Don't be easy on yourself. Well, I wasn't that nice. No, I was a dick to this person, Brutal honesty is your friend. Every night before I go to bed and every morning when I wake up, I review my day. I didn't always do it. I do now. I have for probably several decades. What was I today? I replay everything and I was a little abrupt with that person. They simply were asking me something. They said, how are you doing? But I heard, because of my own things, how are you doing? And I reacted to it. We're not going to be judged on what happens to us in life. I had a bad life. I had a great life. We're not judged on that. I don't think, whatever spirit, I don't think they're terribly judgy. Maybe a little side eye they're going to give me, but, judging, no. We're not judged by what happens to us. It's how we react to it. So every night, every morning, what did I do? Do I owe an apology? Make that amend, drop off the baggage, and go. You carry the baggage that you really are afraid to face. Face it, get over it, and move on. You are the only one you're guaranteed to live with until the day you die, and when you die, make sure it's somebody you can respect.
Oh, that is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you, Sue. I could do this for 12 days, but you've got Alaska to go to. So tell everybody where your show, your book, how they can find you and follow you.
You can find me on most social medias, Facebook, Instagram. SueTube is coming out. I'm gonna widen my platforms. We had 23 seasons of Life Below Zero. That is wrapping now. There is something else maybe in the works. But the book, why did I even decide to write a book? I've always thought you have to have a pretty freaking big ego, and I don't know that my doors are wide enough that fit through for me to write a book. And then my then 4-year-old granddaughter was watching the show. I was visiting, and she's looking at the show, looking at me, she's looking at the show, she says, you do this? And I was like, what do you mean I do this? And she's, bears? And she saw me on that episode shoot some food and take it apart. And I said, you really don't know who I am and how I do things, do you? Brought my son in and I'm like, okay, she has a pink 22 and a 410. You bring her up this summer and I'm gonna teach her how to hunt. We're gonna start the process. And he's like, well, maybe she doesn't want to. And I said, then she can always decide not to later. We live in a society that it's not a bad skill set to have, to take care of yourself, to know that willow, if you have a headache, chew a willow leaf. It has salicylic acid. As humans, we changed it acetylsalicylic acid, but it originally was a plant.
Wow.
And know your food, know your medicine, don't separate the two. So she starts her education this year, but that's why I decided I need to write a book, because my grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and the great-great-great-grandchildren I'll never meet should find out who I was, not who they thought I was.
That is fascinating. You guys, get the book. It is just out
North
this
of
week.
Ordinary.
And where can they get that?
They can get that at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Don't forget your mom and pop stores, the indie stores. Support your locals.
Yes. So thank you, Sue Aikens. Thank you so much for truly...
Mystery.com.
Yes, mysterycontrol.com.
That's right.
Mysterycontrol.com.
Mysterycontrol.com. That's where you can get the book. The best source, actually, for getting it on time and from wonderful people. Support your locals.
Mysterycontrol.com. You can find my book there, too. You can find all sorts of things.
You can find the most interesting books are at mysterycontrol.com.
And other things. We'll just leave it at
Stuff.
Yes. Thank you, Sue. You guys,
Thank
isn't
you.
she great? Thank you. I'm just so inspired, so awe-inspired. Sue Aikens, The
Thank
Witching
you.
Hour.